Hello everyone, Space Oyster here, and welcome back to Boletaria. In the last part, we went through the second world of, or not the second world, the second part of Boletaria Palace, which is the first world. Off screen, I leveled up my stats a bit. I got my intelligence up to 14. I would highly recommend having that as a minimum, since if you have an item called the Silver Circlet equipped and 14 intelligence, that gives you just enough mana to be able to cast the spell Second Chance that you can get much later. You do need to have 16 faith in order to use it.
Well, you found yourself a demon soul, did you? I'm impressed. Yes, indeed I am. Stay the path, and you will soon be a monster yourself. Can't you see you've fallen for their trap?
But yeah, Second Chance is pretty much mandatory for any PvP you do, so I'd just recommend going with a PvP build.
At its peak, Boletaria was a grand kingdom. The king, his knights, and his subjects were modest and plain, but also steadfast and compassionate. In the distant southern kingdom, Boletaria was known as paradise on earth. But look at what has become of us now. I refuse to believe that this is what Father wished for our great land.
Oh, never mind. He doesn't keep it a secret that he is related to the king. But yeah, anyway. Also, I want to experiment. Does this guy measure intelligence, or...?
What do you want, brute? I have no use for miscreants like yourself. Away with you.
Okay, no, never mind. He measures your magic stat. So, never mind then. Okay. It might be nice to get magic up a bit so that way I can get some neat spells, but it's not necessarily mandatory. Anyway, next we are going to be going to the Shrine of Storms, the island shrine of the Shadow Men, who worship storms and mourn the dead. Here, the storm beasts fly above, and the souls of the dead inhabit empty skeletons to move about freely. So this is actually one of the more difficult worlds to go to, especially early on, but I would also highly recommend it because you can get a very, very strong sword in this level. So this is definitely going to be a hot spot for early game, for your early game, or for players who are in the early part of the game. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, there's the archstone thingamadoodad, and yeah, there we can see one of the skeletons being inhabited by a soul, and it's going to try and eat us. Oh my gosh, I'm not doing any damage to him at all, or at least not much. So, yeah, and then one thing about these skeletons that should be pretty obvious is that they're immune to bleed because, well, they're skeletons. They don't have blood. Anyway, the Shrine of Storms here, there are 3 good things you can get from here. You can get 2 upgrade, or actually no, there's a lot of stuff you can get, good stuff you can get from here. So there are about 3 upgrade materials that are useful you can get from this place. Bladestone, Cloudstone, and Dark Moonstone, I believe. So, Bladestone, that is the upgrade material for weapons that scale with the dexterity stat. So if you're going to, if you want to do a high dexterity build, this is a good place to farm for stuff if you need to upgrade your equipment. Cloudstone, that is a unique upgrade material for shields, so this is also a good place to visit if you want to upgrade your shield. I wouldn't worry too much about having a fully upgraded shield, though. As long as your shield is able to block 100% of damage, then you're good. I think upgrading it makes it more effective at keeping you stable while you're blocking, but I wouldn't say going out of your way to upgrade that is mandatory, but that could just be me showing how little I know of demon souls. So, yeah. But, regardless, you get Cloudstone here for upgrading your shield, so that's good to know as well. And then, the last one I mentioned, Dark Moonstone. Dark Moonstone is a upgrade material for a type of magic enhancement you can put on your weapons. I think it adds an enhancement called Crescent. So Crescent enhancements on weapons causes it to deal, well, not deal, but scale with your magic stat. Purely with your magic stat. It'll remove any other scaling the weapon would have normally. And then the secondary effect of a Crescent weapon is that while you have it equipped, you will regenerate MP. So, Crescent weapons are extremely broken for any builds that use a lot of magic. Even Faith builds benefit a lot from having a Crescent weapon equipped, since even their spells, while they don't scale off magic, they will still use up MP. So yeah, those upgrade stones do make this a very desirable place. But the fourth thing that is very worth collecting in this area, or that you can collect in this area, is souls. The enemies in here in the Shrine of Storms, I think they drop a higher concentration of souls than enemies in the other areas. So if you want to farm souls to level up, the Shrine of Storms is where you want to go. From the second archstone, you can actually get quite a lot. Anyway, this is where you want to try and get to if you're coming to this place early. You have to get past this red eye skeleton, and that can be quite the tricky task. I believe this guy can one-shot you if you're not careful. So we're gonna roll past him and grab this treasure here. I might have skipped it too quickly, but that is the Crescent Falchion, which is a very amazing weapon. It's already got the Crescent upgrade, so that makes it really strong. And I can already hear you wondering, wait, why do you want to use a weapon that scales with magic? You aren't investing in magic, as far as I can tell. Well, actually, I don't know if you can tell that or not, but yes, I am not investing in magic at all on this character, or at least I don't intend to. I might change my mind later. But regardless, the Crescent Falchion is actually a very good weapon to pick up for this part of the game, regardless of what build you're going for. And that's simply because it's going to be deal a lot more raw damage than almost anything else you can get, assuming you aren't picking up something that goes better with your build and that you don't already have the stats for your build. Since I haven't started to get the high dexterity I intend to aim for, at least I think I intend to do a high dexterity build, I haven't really decided on what weapon I want to get. I'll just use whatever I feel like. But anyway, the Crescent Falchion is going to be able to deal a lot of damage to pretty much every enemy at this point in the game, simply because of just how big of an upgrade it is. Normally, to get to a Crescent upgrade, or I should say an upgrade like Crescent, you have to have a weapon that's upgraded to about level 5, I think. Ow. And then you can talk to another blacksmith to get the right upgrade for it. But we get to just use it right away, and it just has a lot more. It'll just deal a lot more damage than average, even if you have poor scaling. Oh, right, and yeah, that's actually a shortcut right there, an unintended shortcut. If your equipment weight, or if your rolling weight is light enough, or I should say if your weight is light enough in general, you can actually roll over the wall and go straight to the boss of this area. So if you're struggling with the Shrine of Storms and just want to get this first world done with, you can do that. I've heard in interviews that Miyazaki has said that is one of the player-found exploits that he wouldn't fix if they were still updating the game, or if it had been found sooner in playtesting. I believe Miyazaki is one of those game developers who loves to keep in stuff that the players find after the game's release. Occasionally. He doesn't really like it when people find ways to utterly break the game and not engage with it, but that shortcut there doesn't necessarily do that, since you need to have a specific weight limit and it's pretty much a secret. So it's got more in common with something like an illusionary wall or something like that. Alright, anyway, let's get on down there. Oh, right, that reminds me. One of the other things that is very different between Demon Souls and Dark Souls is that Demon Souls, you can't do a plunging attack. So if you're dropping down, all you can do is wait till you hit the ground before you can resume doing anything. Oh, poopy doodle. Alright, so I'm gonna just run back up there. I'm gonna get that guy. So, yeah, if you're coming to Demon Souls after you have played any of the other games in the Soulsborne series, then the lack of a dropping attack, or a lack of a plunging attack is probably going to be the most difficult thing to adapt to. There are a few other differences that make Demon Souls a bit more tricky. Yeah, it fell all the way down there. Joy. Anyway, that is the compound longbow, and poopy doodle. I just realized I already upgraded my compound shortbow, and with the upgrades I have applied to it, it is stronger than the longbow without any, so I kind of wasted some materials there. There is a glitch to replicate items, but I don't intend to use it.
You! Scary! Give Sparkly me! Give Twinkly me! Me! You! Trade! Trade! Give me Sparkly Twinkly!
So yeah, we can't see her, but this is this is an NPC that is affectionately referred to as Sparkly the Crow, and you actually can trade with her. So if you drop items that she finds as twinkly or sparkly, she'll give you something else in return. So for example, that Augite of Guidance we picked up is one of the items she likes.
Happy!
Although trading with her is a bit more complicated, because after you drop the item, you have to log out and then log back in. Usually, or rather, it triggers when you leave the area and come back.
You! Scary!
Yeah, I don't care if you're scared of me, Sparkly. Anyway, look, ooh, a crystal lizard. Yeah, they're much more common outside of Boletaria Palace. There are some crystal lizards in the first stage of Boletaria Palace, but you need to have pure white or pure black world tendency. Anyway, yeah, that guy dropped some of the dark moonstone I was talking about. Very handy stuff. And having the Crescent Falchion equipped means that I can use the heal spell I got. Oh, right, yeah, and then this is also the place that primarily has illusionary walls. The other levels of Demon Souls, those aren't as common in them, so the Shrine of Storms is the most secretive place, I suppose is the right word for it. Alright, come on you, come on. Yeah, you have to be careful with that hallway, because there's a skeleton behind me as well, or rather on the other side of the hallway, and pulling them both can be very deadly. Oh crap, we pulled them both. But fortunately one is dead. Let me get my stronger grass equipped. Just in case. Anyway, this shortcut is pretty, rather not shortcut, this illusory wall and the path it's hiding, they are very handy because they lead to an important NPC. We picked up the key for him very early on in the level. It's where I got hit by the trap and it's near the shortcut. But yeah, the copper key opens this gate for this guy. I'm gonna pick this up.
Whew, you saved me. Heavens, I can't believe I fell for that trap. I suppose I owe you now. I'm Grave Robber Blige. As thanks, I can provide you with useful goods. Who couldn't do with a little help down in these parts?
Alright, so yeah, Grave Robber Blige, he sells a lot of unique items. Well, I don't know if unique's the right word, but he sells a lot of the stuff that you would normally find around here, namely dexterity-related stuffs. So he's got some bows.
This shrine, was used in a ghastly ritual by an ancient tribe. They've long perished, and now demons have put the souls to work. At least here you're killing things that are already dead, like skeletons and shadow lurkers. That's what I like about this place. Better than killing those poor, soul-starved humans, right?
Alright,
Better than killing those poor, soul-starved...
yeah, so, actually I meant to say he sells arrows, and he will sell them cheaper than Baldwin does in the Nexus. And then he also has, some dexterity-related equipment and, you know, stuff like that.
Satisfied? I'll have more for you next time. May we have a long and fruitful relationship.
Yeah, he's in an inconvenient spot in this first part of the Shrine of Storms, but later on he's going to be much easier to access. Anyway, I'm gonna equip that that set of leather armor I bought from him, so that way I'm not running around half naked, and I'll have better defense. Anyway, is it just me, or does this wall look fake? Like, I don't mean that to hint at it being an illusionary wall, obviously it was, but, like I meant, it looked particularly ghostly, like it was a fake wall. Or, well, like the fake wall it was. Ugh. Anyway, that underground pathway leads us behind the Vanguard. This isn't the same Vanguard that was in the tutorial. If you do manage to beat that Vanguard at the end of the tutorial and then come to the Shrine of Storms, this one will still be here. They're effectively the same. They're effectively the same demon, more or less, but and because they'll drop the same stuff, but they're just fought in different environments. This guy is actually pretty easy to cheese. He is too big to walk over here, so if you need to back off and retreat to heal and stuff, then you can safely do that. Or you can just snipe him with a bow from far away. But, you know, we gotta try and fight him, you know. Reclaim my lost honor! Come on, come on. Oh, crap. Okay. Oh, boy. Yeah, this will take a while, because I am pretty much a little fraidy cat, and I do not like to fight this guy fairly, so I'm going to shoot his health down a lot and potentially just kill him that way. So I'll cut ahead, and I'll see you when he's dead. It rhymes because it's true. Alright, and he is dead. Woo! Vanguard is actually susceptible to bleed, so if you are using the Crescent Falchion, then it'll inflict bleed if you keep hitting him with it. So that's also nice. Ooh, lots of interesting weapons here. But yeah, they also have a lot of dexterity weapons in this level. That's really neat. Oh, wait a second. I know there's stuff around here, but I thought... Oh, that's right, I forgot. I reloaded, so when I did that, while trading with Sparkly, it actually reset the traps I had already triggered. I want to grab the stuff that's in the courtyard up ahead. Anyway, what was I talking about? I thought there was something I wanted to talk about, but I forgot what. Well, I guess I can go over what you can do with Vanguard's soul, I think it's the Gray Demon's soul. So, Vanguard's soul, you can use it to create a weapon called the Dozer Axe. I think you need to upgrade, I think you need to get an axe up to +7 without going down any alternate upgrade paths. And then once you do that, then you can change it into the Dozer Axe, which is a very, a heavy weapon, I think it's pretty heavy anyway, with a big strength requirement that you are able, okay, so it's a big heavy weapon with a high strength requirement that you are able to, not that you were able to, that doesn't scale with any stats. So it should be able to carry you through a good chunk of the game just on its raw scaling alone, or rather raw stats alone, but a weapon that scales will eventually become stronger as you level up. Alright, so this next bit I don't like, and... oh yeah, I'm gonna go buy more arrows. I'll see you guys back up there. Alright, and we're heading back into it. I figured I might as well make good use of grave robber Blige while we're here, and I have the level cleared out. That's part of, usually part of the way I just approach Demon Souls and Dark Souls 3 in general. It's usually how I play Dark Souls 2 as well, but I haven't gotten very far into that one before I get bored and put it down. But generally I like to clear out an area as I go, or clear out a whole area so that way I can make sure it's safe to backtrack and make sure I get everything before I move on to the next one. I don't know, there's just a satisfaction in emptying an area of enemies. Anyway, yeah, so this part of the level, we should be able to take out a few storm beasts if we've got a ranged weapon, which fortunately I do because I hate those storm beasts. Oh, right, that reminded me of a thing I wanted to bring up. So, the Shrine of Storms, it is highly recommended that you equip the Thieves' Ring while you're here. The storm beasts, they'll have a very tough time detecting you while you have it equipped. So having the Thieves' Ring equipped while you're here will make sure you go, not go, but having the Thieves' Ring equipped will keep you from having to deal with their constant attacks for most of the level, because there are parts that are very precarious, and they just make it worse by constantly shooting at you. It's not perfect, they'll still shoot at you occasionally, but the Thieves' Ring makes it far more manageable. Anyway, this red eye skeleton here, he is blocking an item I want, but I am going to use a very super special trick that I like to call being a giant scaredy cat. So I'm gonna shoot him here, and just like that, he's dead. It's not like I just kept shooting him from up there. No siree, I just used a very special trick where you press the fire arrow button about 50 times in a row within half a millisecond, and then bam, it instantly kills them. It's a super secret trick that only Let's Players and people with video editing equipment can do. So yeah, I wouldn't try it at home unless you can edit videos as well. Totally wasn't just me cutting ahead or anything like that. Not at all. Alright, well, anyway, the reason why I wanted to kill that guy in particular is because he was guarding an item called the Adjudicator's Shield. So if you're one of those folks who prefers to use just your weapon and two-hand it for maximum damage and all that fun stuff, the Adjudicator's Shield is probably the shield you might consider having equipped. Maybe. I don't know if there's one that increases your stamina regeneration, but the Adjudicator's Shield will, it'll increase the, not increase, it'll passively restore your hit points while you have it equipped. So it's a very handy shield to have for one of the other worlds. So I would highly recommend visiting the Shrine of Storms before you go to World 5. I'm not going to spoil names, but if you're familiar enough with Demon Souls, you'll know what I mean when I say World 5. Ow. Alright. I missed. I missed again. There we go. Yeah, these gold skeletons, they are annoying buggers. They should be easier to manage than those black skeletons with the red eyes, or the red eye skeletons as I like to call them. Ooh, I could call them the red eyes black skeletons. Yu-Gi-Oh reference. Anyway, these gold skeletons are also really dangerous. They have those giant claymores that will eat a lot of stamina from you if you have a shield equipped, or if you block their attack. So, it's usually safer to dodge them, but they can also swing it pretty rapidly. So you want to be able to take them out quickly, or perhaps get behind them when they're using a particularly long swing that'll leave them vulnerable for a while. Or I should say a big swing. Alright. Your heart is breaking? No. Do you not like killing skeletons? Whoever left that message? Oh, I mistimed that. I mistimed that poorly. Anyway, oh crap. Ha! You missed, Storm Beast. Ow. Ow! I totally dodged that. My iframes didn't work. I'm gonna tell on you. Alright, anyway, let's just get right back into it. Oh crap. Ow. Fortunately, the Storm Beasts aren't doing that much damage, or I think it's just one up there. Oh, right, and I should go over that item that the skeletons keep dropping. Soul Remains. So that is another item, a consumable item, that when you use it, your character will throw it. What it does is when you throw it, it'll attract enemies to where it lands. So if you've played Dark Souls, it's basically an alluring skull. The enemies in this area tend to drop it a lot more frequently, or I think they're the only ones that drop it, actually. I don't know if enemies in other areas will ever drop the Soul Remains. So it can be handy for trying to lure these enemies out into safer areas to fight them if you choose not to use a bow. Or, yeah, if you choose not to use a bow or just don't want to. So keep the Soul Remains in mind. I do believe these enemies will drop them frequently enough that it should be an option for you if you want to stick to just melee. Yeah, Demon Souls does, or I shouldn't just say Demon Souls, but the Soul series does tend to be quite accommodating for various play styles. It makes me wonder if during development, the folks working on the game did what they could to go through each area using just a melee build. So that way they would have a baseline to work with, and then they could give the players other options to go through the game. Anyway, let's drop down onto this plank so that way we can reach that item. Ed's Grindstone? That's not an Ed's Grindstone, that's a Grave Robber's Ring. So the Grave Robber's Ring is basically the Thief's Ring, but it works against Black Phantoms. So if you encounter a Black Phantom, oh, no, it's running away. After it! After it! You won't escape me, Crystal Lizard. Eh. It fell down. Alright, yeah, I think if I reload, its corpse will show up and I can pick up the loot, but I don't feel like doing that again. I don't want to. Alright, so the Regenerator's Ring, that is another useful item. It's not, they don't have an equivalent in later Souls games, or actually I think they do, but it's even worse. The Regenerator's Ring, like the Adjudicator's Shield, will passively restore your hit points. And, yeah, it can be broken, but I wouldn't recommend using it to restore your hit points when they're running low. I'd just say use some grass. Grass is plentiful. You can get as much of it as you want. Also, having a miracle equipped, like heal, that would work even better than the just popping on the Regenerator's Ring, restoring your health, and then taking it off when you're ready to go exploring again. That would just take way too long. Oh, right, and we made it to the boss. So this is the Adjudicator. The Adjudicator is one of the easiest bosses in the game, but it highlights something that I've always enjoyed about the Demon Souls bosses. And I believe it's very intentional. If I remember correctly, Miyazaki has even said in interviews, basically said in interviews that he tried to design every boss in Demon Souls to be unique. So each encounter with a boss in Demon Souls is more like a puzzle than a combat encounter. Well, no, not each of them. There are a few that are just a pure test of combat ability, but he wanted to try and make all of them unique, so every boss encounter in Demon Souls should be distinct from every other boss encounter. In the case of the Adjudicator, while he is similar to the Tower Knight in that we have to hit a weak point to knock him over, we don't really have a lot of good options for damaging him otherwise. With the Tower Knight, we could just stand at a far-off place and shoot him full of arrows and, go right for his head that way. If we try to do that with the Adjudicator, it won't work out as well. He can actually effectively attack you at range much better than the Tower Knight can. Since his boss arena is so small, he can actually reach his attacks can actually reach the top floor that you would otherwise attack him from. And as you've probably already noticed, this giant blob of a monster isn't the real Adjudicator. The bird on its head is. Or rather, the bird nesting in the crown. That's the Adjudicator, and it seems to be using the body as a puppet. And it really highlights, this boss really highlights the adventuring, or the adventurer aspect, or the puzzle aspect that most of these bosses have. You've probably already noticed, but the crow will squawk every time the Adjudicator goes to attack. So as long as you're listening as well as looking, you have both audio and visual cues for when the Adjudicator is going to attack you. And as long as you keep your eye out for those and know where the safe spot is to be able to get in position to damage this weak spot, then you should be able to safely deal with him, no problem. It's honestly why he comes across as one of my more favorite boss encounters in the Souls series, despite being one of the most pathetic. It's simply because I could reasonably expect someone who is completely new to Demon Souls to come into this boss and figure out how to beat him without any input on my part, or any other player's part for that matter. You don't need to have someone spell out for you that you have to hit this, you have to hit that weak spot to knock him over and then attack the crow. Or at least I don't think you'd have to anyway. And they can also reasonably figure out when the Adjudicator is going to attack because he has plenty of tells for it. And because he doesn't track you, you don't have to worry about rolling at the right time. You can just walk out of the way. I'm not sure if that's a positive or a negative for the series. Circle strafing has always been a way to break a lot of Dark Soul or Souls encounters. But still, even then, I do really enjoy that the Adjudicator is something that you can reasonably figure out without having to look up a guide. It also highlights that in Demon Souls, the levels, or rather the path to get to a boss, is often more difficult than the boss itself. The environment is more deadly than the demons. What irony. At least I think it's supposed to be ironic. I'm not too sure. Anyway, that is the Adjudicator down. I do believe there are a couple of interesting things you can do with his soul. If you're leveling strength and faith in equal measure, you can actually make a pretty neat weapon using his soul, the meat cleaver. Yeah, I don't know what those messages are going on about. Well, I guess I do, but yeah, the swollen demon souls, you can make a meat cleaver, and then I believe you can also get an interesting spell or two. Or a miracle, I think. Well, miracles are basically spells anyway. But regardless, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and call that here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.